I come from a very, very well, classical, so to say, coal mining area. The town from I'm from has pretty much historic links to coal mining. There are still huge, big problems related to coal mining, not only just here up in Yorkshire and sort of the area where I'm from, but in Wales as well. And this area has been what we're about to talk about is heavily, I think, a problem in Wales. But now that this is sort of highlighted to me, I'm now like, hold on a second, is this also an issue in my area? And that makes me incredibly worried. Um, if you're not sure what we're talking about, obviously, when you were mining coal, all the earth that you would dig had to go somewhere. So these would end up in massive mounds called uh, they're called coal tips or muck stacks, to use the colloquial term for the miners speak, shall we say. Um, and these used to end up all over the place, especially in heavy areas of where there used to be a lot of coal mining. In fact, you probably will not be able to tell the difference between a you know a something that was a used to be a coal tip, because it's been a long time since these areas have been used as such, and because of that, they are now covered in trees and scrubland. So it's very difficult to tell these days what is or used to be a coal tip, unless you knew or unless you know where these particular tips happen to be. And of course, in Wales, there was something that referred to as the Aberystwyth. Hopefully, I've said that right. An Aberystwyth disaster, in which one of these tips, after a very downpouring deluge, the entire thing slid and onto a school, killing, I think it was 116 children and at least 27 adults. So this is, and especially in Wales, something that is quite very well remembered. This happened in 1966, I believe. So this is still within a lot of people's memories, and especially so in Wales. And it makes me concerned about this, because in this area in particular where I'm from, have people built houses on these places? As what's particularly happened to these tips? Are they still there? Are they still safe? So this issue is actually being brought up now and again, and I think that this is something that does need to be generally quite discussed, because there's a lot of areas in Wales still where these coal tips are potentially, what many residents now suspect, are now on the move, meaning that they think that these tips could be about to slide. Why are they about to slide? Well, climate change. Because obviously, due to climate change, we've been having a lot more torrential downpours. We've been having increased amount of rainfall, especially in places like Wales. So this has been causing these tips, or these former coal tips, to become increasingly wet, and the result, slide down. And if you talk to, or at least you've seen, some of the residents, not only in my own area, they've had this problem. After it rains, or after there's maybe a bit of flooding, um, the garden tends to get ruined, or things like that. And particularly in Wales, again, a lot of ex-coal miners, when they go out, they're like, oh, this isn't normal soil, this is, tip soil. So they're recognizing this, and they are sort of being increasingly worried by the fact that this could very well happen again. That there could be another, as we said, another Aberystwyth disaster. Again, I pronounced it wrong, but never mind. So yeah, kind of important. Probably something the government, should be taking a look at. except of course, no. Um, this was actually brought up very recently in Parliament by one of the Welsh sort of MPs who said, "Hey, this is this is a problem. This is quite a serious issue. We could be putting people's lives at risk by not helping to do so." And the price tag to help solve these things is about 50 million over the course of 10 to 15 years. So this by no means is something you can just spend some money on, problem solved. Oh no, it's going to take a long time to make these safe. And the Welsh government, the Labour Welsh government at this moment in time, has recently put out a map of all these sort of coal tips, which is identified as problem points. Um, and it has said, "Hey, UK government, we need money to solve this. Otherwise, it could lead to a disaster." And of course, what has our government chosen to do? Oh, this is a devolved government problem. You've got to solve it. No, this isn't just a dissolved government problem. You are talking a significant amount of money over a very long number of years. And this, unfortunately, does continue the trend of because Labour has pretty much been in control of the Welsh Senate, the devolved government over there. They ain't stepping in to help. Because after all, they'd be helping a Labour government, and wouldn't that be awful if this, Labour government were to sort of, succeed and be, proven right? Heaven forbid that should be the case. But like I say, if this is going on in Wales, this is going on in Wales, sort of makes me worried coming from a coal mining area and not having enough knowledge about this myself, admittedly so, that this might be a problem in my area too. How many coal tips in and around sort of South Yorkshire or even Yorkshire itself are also potentially, to use the phrase, as one of the miners, or at least former miners, in another piece said, on the move. Yeah. Um, kind of worrying. Kind of worrying indeed that that might be something to worry about, maybe. Um, but just food for thought and something we should probably look at just in case, because that might be to be quite a problem, and we don't want something like what happened in Wales, as we said, happening. Not only again in Wales, but somewhere here. Could be quite bad. So as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, if you know anything about this, I'd be very interested to know what you know about this. And do you think this is a problem? Am I over worrying, or is this just a problem that is going to sort of affect Wales? Like I say, let me know what you think, or at least give me your expertise if you happen to have that expertise. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.